Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklarbro Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pod,
aka Short Center,
aka two brothers, no mothers,
aka two bros, no garden hose, aka two Jews, no Rod Carews,
aka two brothers, no Joyce brothers, aka two men, one Salmon Couchy, two fans of Fauci.
All right, we're all here. We are back after another weekend. The weeks keep rolling on. I know that,
we're on TikTok. We're throwing messages up there. We got on TikTok, and then it almost like was threatened to.
Yeah, then Trump's like, we're getting rid
going
of
to ban
TikTok.
it. We're like, what? We just got verified, asshole.
Did we get verified?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So that doesn't mean people are watching our videos.
No.
And I do realize that this is the moment when you realize, like, maybe our material is not right for 11-year-olds.
Right.
But here we are. We're in it. We're just finding new ways to try and get the information out to you guys. We're trying again on YouTube. We just found out that we got rejected again. So we're going to try again next month. We're doing everything we can. As soon as we get through this breakthrough somehow, we'll get the Cheap Seats clips back up. We'll get other stand-up clips. We'll work it all in there. But in the meantime,
you can help us by watching the videos on there, and getting those view counts up on that thing always helps us out. And it's cool to see the full episode.
Yeah, subscribe to that. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, I think there are more subscribers to this podcast than to the YouTube page. So let's equal those out. And let's get into it, because we've got a story. We'll dig right down.
Stories.
Well, finally, someone has done it. They have the courage to do what someone, I'm going to say, should have done for decades Randy,
ago.
And that is take down our public libraries a peg.
Yes! Tell them to shush.
Those bloated corporate fat cats down at the library have been living high on the hog is what I'm trying to say.
It's like each of them got their own personal ROM reader.
Yeah, they're throwing around those microfiche like it's free and putting decimals into Dewey systems with no regard for human life.
You know what it is? It's mind fracking.
I said it was mind fracking too. I can't believe you came up with that phrase.
Quite frankly,
someone needs to stand up to these bullies.
Let's take them down a peg and tell them to shush.
Thank God for Sheriff Daniel Coverly, under the coverly of darkness. In response to the Douglas County, Nevada library staff considering adopting
They haven't adopted it yet.
Considering adopting a diversity statement that proclaimed that everyone was welcome inside their libraries.
You know, a divisive statement like that when the library says that everyone is welcome here.
And that they condemned all acts of violence.
Wait.
That's controversial.
Hang on a second. The library is condemning acts of
That's
violence?
a little intense. I don't know if I'd put that feeling out there.
Who does this library think they are?
And clearly stating that hashtag Black Lives Matter is important, Coverly sent these assholes a message.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. Thanks for putting these people in their place where they belong.
The sheriff said to the staff at these libraries, among other things that we will, of course, get into, quote, due to your support, this is in a letter that was published.
No, nice.
Due to your support of Black Lives Matters and the obvious lack of support or trust with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office.
It's not that obvious.
Is it obvious? Off of what they said.
Obvious to
Let me read what they said again, just,
Yeah.
They're considering adopting a diversity statement that proclaimed that everyone was welcome inside.
How does that shit all over the sheriff's department?
And they condemned all acts of violence.
So you're just saying, hey, we're the sheriff's department. We're going to commit acts of violence. So if you're condemning acts of violence, you're condemning us.
You're either
You're indicting yourself, Coverly.
Then he said, please do not feel the need to call 911 for help.
Mild threat.
That's like a doctor saying, wow, I hope you don't get sick, bro.
Yeah.
Because I will be refusing to help you because I don't like the way you looked at me.
Can you do that?
I don't like how you talked to me when you walked into this room. I don't like how you took off your pants and sat around. I have a camera. I watch you while you're in there waiting for me.
I may or may not anesthetize you.
Yeah, I'll see. We're doing the operation. I'll see if I decide to numb you.
Let's see if I want to get sleep the night before.
Let me say something, okay? You are the cops. You still work for the people.
That's right, bro.
What is the phrase? To serve and protect. Protect, fine. Take that out of it. To serve.
Yeah.
You serve.
You serve, dude.
That's like a waiter or waitress saying, like, I don't know, I may bring your food, I may not. We'll see.
I don't like the cut of your jib.
Also, nobody said that they have a lack of support or trust with the police department. It's not in that
All
statement.
they said was they were considering adopting a diversity pledge.
And that Black Lives Matter. I'll
That's
go
it.
back to the
That's
Michael Che bit, which is so all it is matter.
Yeah.
They're not saying it's more important than your life. They're not saying, let's do a 1-for-1 life situation because Black Lives Matter. We got to get rid of some white cops.
Yeah. It's a zero-sum game, guys.
2 in, 2 out.
Two in this world.
If these 2 Black Lives matter, we got to get rid of 2 white lives.
That's right.
That has never been stated.
We got to determine 2 white lives that don't matter.
And now
he's literally
now this guy's making it about supporting the police.
I didn't realize the police could jump like that.
Yeah.
He made such a leap.
Wow. And guess what? They even said, if they even said this, okay, even if they came out and said all cops are pigs, you still got to
serve them.
You got to serve them.
They're part of your thing. This
is like the customer's always right kind of a situation. They could say the meanest things in the world. They
but
could
they're
say,
not.
I don't trust them. They're not saying that, but they can say, I don't trust the police. I hate what they're doing. I can't stand them. You still got to serve and protect them.
Coverly, why can't you say, hey, man, I'm with you. I don't like what some police officers are doing to people. We're with you all the way.
But hey, listen, we want you to support anything you support. Here's what we don't want to have happen. We want to make sure that you know that we're there to take care of you. And we don't want to have negative attitudes towards us as cops because we're people too. If they just said that
we wouldn't be talking about it.
We don't have a story.
We'd be like, well, that
about.
was thoughtful and a thoughtful response.
Coverly published letter to the libraries of Douglas County. It continues. I wish you good luck with the disturbances of lewd behavior, since those are some of the recent calls my office has assisted you with in the past. They're leaning in, digging into some of the things they call.
He has taken the Coverly off.
It's like a scene from Goodfellas.
Yep.
Like they come into the store and they're like, you like this protection we're giving you? You want someone? I noticed you were a little short in the protection money. So maybe
we don't come by when people are screaming in here.
There's a lewd act in this library, and maybe we
got some
turn
calls
the other way
for lewd acts before. Maybe we're not going to take those.
Maybe
calls.
we disappear. Maybe we don't worry about it while someone's jacking off.
Also, here's the overdue Thornbirds book that I owe you $3.58 for.
Coverly also noted in the letter that his department was the only local law enforcement agency in Douglas County. So don't even think about making us mad is the insinuation. Am I right?
We're it.
We're the only game in town.
We're all you got.
It'd be a shame if these, card catalogs suddenly got jumbled up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's like a cop behind him just taking out random cards and ripping them up and
throwing them all over the place.
Yeah, it'd be a real shame if something happened to everything in the
from
sorry. SC to SH.
I'm sorry. It's out of alphabetical order.
By the way, good call attacking libraries in Nevada.
Yeah.
I'm shocked there still are libraries in Nevada.
Or that people are going in and using them.
I'm guessing that there are champagne rooms in every library in Nevada.
You know that there are gambling machines in the library.
So like in a video store, how they cordon off the adult section, like they cordon off the kid section. Everything else is the adult section.
You can smoke everywhere in a library in Nevada.
There are poles between the stacks.
That's right.
There's a quiet whispering strip club DJ
ushering women in and out of
fellas, get ready. Get ready to mind your Longfellows because we've got Jasmine in periodicals and Desiree in fiction.
And for the next half hour only, all drinking fountain trips and well drinks will be half off.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy a spoken word essay by David Sedaris, followed by some Aerosmith.
Dude looks like a lady.
He does. That soft, gentle strip club DJs in a library.
That would be the
I could listen to that for there's a Pontiac Bonneville with its lights on in the back seat.
Back parking lot, you might want to turn those lights off, but get ready to turn up the heat.
Because we've got Tigress on the main stage.
And Euphrates coming out of the periodical section.
All right. Let's be clear about this. Okay. Library staffs never said defund the police. They never said,
nor did they attack the police.
They never incited violence against the police.
Coverly is now withholding services because of an interpretation that he made.
Yeah. He's like, that's how I read it. So you know what? Don't call 911 because we're not coming. And then someone pointed out that much of Coverly's published letter was lifted from another letter that was written by 11 state attorneys to congressional lawmakers to support law enforcement.
So he's plagiarized.
He's not even using his own words. If that's not really how you feel,
By the way, that's not what the library is for, to plagiarize.
Yeah.
Okay. You research, you read, you put in your own thoughts, and then you regurgitate.
ultimately it was the library. Okay, of course, the library has to come and clarify for the cops.
Thank you,
that
library.
they only meant to support diversity and to support the cops, as if it wasn't clear from their initial statement. And the libraries, now the library is scared. These libraries in Nevada, they're scared to support BLM because then they might not get the law enforcement that they need and help.
Yeah. That's how these police.
Yeah, they had to cancel a board meeting that they had to decide if they were going to actually come out and say that they support.
They were
Black
bullied
Lives
by
Matter.
the cops into saying, we're not going to help you if you support Black Lives Matter, because supporting Black Lives Matter somehow is against the police.
So Coverly met with a representative of the libraries, Amy Dodson, and they had a, quote, candid conversation.
Translation, he called her a bitch.
A couple times probably. And then they came
Can you
forward.
please keep your voice down?
And then they came forward with a joint statement. Coverly clarified that he's just passionate about the work that they do for the community.
Translation, he's a piece of shit.
And it's been a difficult time to be a law enforcement professional.
That's
and
right.
It can be disheartening when they perceive that their office may be under attack. It's almost like someone pulling over someone because of the color of their skin and then shooting them when they reach for their license.
So misperceiving that this person is actually a criminal when they're not, and then acting in a violent way
or
towards
throwing
them.
someone to the ground and putting your knee in their neck for like 9 minutes. It's
Until they
almost like
die.
that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's that bad.
It's more like feelings are hurt bad.
Yeah. I would just say to the Douglas County Police Department, be careful who you piss off at the library.
Amen.
Or because someday you might be walking around, you might need a hardback copy of Charlotte's Web for your daughter.
You might need something from F. Scott Fitzgerald.
You might need a book of Hemingway short stories that smells weird.
Yeah, you might be the old man looking for the old man in the sea.
And then and you're not going to have it, and they're not going to give it to you at the library.
It may be on the shelf, but it would be promised to somebody else, someone who cares about all.
That book's still out. You'll hear him say.
Yeah.
I see it right over there. We haven't refiled it yet.
Nope.
Be careful. I'm just saying be careful. Don't piss off a library is all I'm trying to say.
It's going to come back to literally swat you in the face.
There you go. That's story number one.
Story number one, down. Libraries.
Yes.
I love it. We had a library story. Next up, here we go. After the break, we're going to talk about
Alabama gets very Alabama.
A pastor in Alabama who is a Republican lawmaker. There you go. He does what
you thought Roy Moore set the bar low.
This guy.
Here we go.
This guy is setting you guys back even farther. I don't like it, but we'll talk about it right after.
Our
break.
people in Alabama, you should be outraged by this. Say
Our
this
friends
is
in Alabama. We've been to Mobile. Very cool down there. You should be outraged by this guy, and I'm sure you are. We'll cover that story on the other side of the break.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We are wanting to remind people that, we have a live Dumb People Town that's sold out. So you're going to have to wait for the next live Dumb People Town. If you missed it, I'm sorry. If you're on board, thank you. We're going to start trying to do this every couple months, maybe every month.
Yeah, thanks for following us on Instagram too. It's been gaining some positive steam, and on Twitter and whatnot. Hey, we're guest hosting Jim Rome's TV and radio show later this week. If you like our sports and comedy commentary.
And maybe we'll mix in some stuff like this.
Yeah, it'll be Friday, August 7th, and then
Wednesday, August 12th.
So check us out there on the CBS Sports Network. That's 9 to noon West Coast time, 12 to 3 Eastern time. You ready for this?
Yes, and we're still dieting, and I'm still hungry all the time.
I'm hungry all the time.
Okay, if you're a pastor in Alabama and a Republican lawmaker, I'm sure you're constantly asking yourself, what would Jesus do?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say probably not go to a celebration for a dead racist Confederate soldier who also happens to be the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
The first Grand Wizard of the KKK.
Oh, and also, Jesus probably wouldn't have posted on Facebook about how proud he was to be there to celebrate the guy.
Yeah, I don't think Jesus would have had Facebook.
I don't think Jesus would have also done it near Selma, Alabama, and he probably wouldn't have done it the day that John Lewis, probably one of the most decorated civil rights activists of all time,
Freedom
and
fighter,
member of our government, beloved figure,
when his body arrived in that town,
because he had just passed away for his own burial. Maybe, and I'm going to say probably because Jesus, I think if Jesus was around, he wouldn't be on Facebook.
I agree. That's what
Am
I
I
said.
right to say that Jesus wouldn't be on Facebook?
No, he wouldn't be on Facebook.
Can you imagine his profile page?
Yeah.
Status, alive, dead, alive again. There he goes.
Loves water sports.
carpenter. Like he wants to get into some groups with other carpenters. Here's a pic of me and my boys at an epic dinner. Like, yeah, I'm just imagining that page and I'm thinking, I don't want to see Jesus's life put into the mundane.
The black and white photo challenge.
Yes. Here's me doing the
loaves and the
fishes
fish
challenge.
That's right.
All right. Back to this Alabama dipshit. People are now calling for the resignation, and rightfully so, of Will Dismukes, which sounds like a word jumble of David Duke.
Yeah.
Right?
Same energy as a David Duke jumble up.
Southern, douchey, KKK, Republican.
Dismukes sounds like what? Like if someone was using like the Pig Latin
version of David Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Republican representative and 30-year-old asshat, this guy, Will Dismukes, not only decided it would be a godly thing to do to honor this evil, racist bitch of a man. But he wanted the world to know it by posting on Facebook. And his post, I'm going to say, is almost as offensive as his choices.
Well, let's get into it.
Here's the quote. He said, "Had a great time at Fort Dixie." Fort Dixie.
That's
a little on the nose.
On the nose, gang.
Fort Dixie. Speaking and giving the invocation for Nathan Bedford Forrest's annual birthday celebration.
Nathan Bedford Forrest sounds like he was born strangling a black baby with an umbilical cord.
Yes, with his own umbilical cord. Glad you gave the invocation because it's a religious service, really, when you think about it. To honor
Christians everywhere need to denounce this person right now.
If you are a Christian, if you are a religious person, our buddy, Reverend Stackhouse,
he would denounce this guy.
He'd say this is not Christian.
That's right.
There might be nothing less Christian than using your Christianity to honor a dead grand wizard of the KKK. I can't think of anything less Christian.
Dismukes. He's 30 years old. What else?
He wrote in a Facebook post over the weekend sharing a photo of himself, and I saw the photo, standing behind a lectern surrounded by a bunch of Confederate flags.
Of course. You cannot have it with a Confederate flag.
Gotta get the stars and bars in there.
Right.
Gotta make that.
Just in case people are
wondering, where does this guy stand on the issues?
Yeah. Does he want to get rid of the flag or not?
I don't know. But then, of course, if you angled the cameras upward, you would have seen all the nooses in the trees. Okay.
They're just celebratory, by the way.
Anyway. This is what he wrote. A great time and some sure enough good eating.
Sure enough good eating. What the hell does that mean?
The way he wrote that makes me want to punch him in the face. And if you see a picture of him,
you already
like,
I was right.
In the face. I do want to punch him in the face. Like, look at what a good old fun time we had down there. Y'all come back now, you hear? We said good enough eating. Like, whoo-wee, what a knee-slapping fun time we all had. Like it's an episode of Hee Haw.
Right.
Like you're honoring a grand wizard, the first grand wizard of the KKK. You don't get to use frivolous, folksy Southern language.
Number one. And number two, you don't get to talk about how good the food was.
No.
That's not what you get to talk about in that instance.
You got a punchable face to begin with.
Yeah.
He looks like if a date rape became a person.
If it was fully formed into a human being.
Right. And he's a representative of some part of Alabama. Again, I said this
Roy
in the
Moore
intro.
set the bar so low that this guy, he
just
emerged.
barely got over it.
That's
he
right.
emerged. He squiggled over it. Okay.
He limboed under it.
Of course, the post got taken down because...
But not before it got circulated. Before we all got a chance to see it.
And I'm going to say this, panned by both Republicans and Democrats.
That's
Obviously, all the Democrats panned it because, of course... They panned it because you should, and also there's political clout behind
going
that.
after this guy.
But you got a Republican senator being like, "This is unacceptable." When that starts happening, and they even break ranks with that, you screwed up.
Yeah, you gotta when you're celebrating like racist Von Scum on the week that John Lewis gets buried, you shouldn't do it at any time, but the week that they're burying John Lewis, the day that they are, that's terrible.
Of course, then came his, totally insensitive and not connected.
I'm sorry if people were offended.
Right. When a person has a shred of compassion and isn't a total douchebag and they screw up and they're not a racist, it looks one way. When someone has no remorse and is trying to act like they do, it looks
like this.
It looks
after
like
he
that.
deleted his post.
Deleted post, which is the first admission that you did something wrong. Is when you delete.
Delete it. Leave it up there if you don't have a problem with it.
He wrote, "First and foremost, my post yesterday was in no way related to disrespecting the passing of Representative John Lewis.
Let us be the judge of that.
That wasn't even a thought in my mind. That's not who I am as a person.
It isn't?
I'm shocked he has any thoughts in his mind aside from white is good, black is bad.
Nope.
That actually
is exactly who
that's
you are
exactly
as a person.
who he is as a person.
Yeah.
You never had that thought in your mind, honestly, because honoring John Lewis would have meant that you were honoring a black person.
And you can't do that.
And you would have never had
Never
that
done
thought.
it.
That is not
There's no
who you
room
are.
in your mind after eating all that good old eating.
And of course, in another statement, in some articles you see this, in other ones you don't. He made some statement like, "This is classic cancel culture.
Right.
This is what's going on."
Yeah,
This-
by the way, it's time to cancel the KKK and the original Grand Wizard. It's time to cancel that asshole.
So he refuses. He resigned, by the way, as a pastor.
Good.
He left
Great.
the church.
Good.
So good. And
Yeah.
then he refuses to resign as a government official, even at the behest of the Republican Center
And of course the Democrats. Yeah.
So I guess there are different standards for if you're a politician or if you're a pastor.
Right. If you're a pastor in the eyes of God, you got to step down. But if you're a Republican senator or you're a senator,
Forget God.
keep
Screw
going.
God.
Yeah, keep going.
The simple fact is,
By the way, that's the only separation of church and state he'll ever have.
the simple fact that this guy never even thought that celebrating the birthday of the first Grand Wizard of the KKK was a wrong thing to
Not
do.
until people told him that he was in trouble for it.
It's the best case scenario is that it's willful ignorance.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is he's like, let's honor this guy because he was doing some good work.
That's right.
Right?
How
And
do you
I-
not know who it is if you're giving the invocation, assuming you had to do some research as to who this guy was?
Okay, I don't support cancel culture. I don't like cancel culture. I think at times it can go too far. However, there are some things that need to be canceled. This is a guy who deserves it.
Exactly.
This is it. When cancel
Cancel
culture overreaches, then that's a bad thing. But there are times in our lives and there are times in this universe where a guy deserves to be canceled. This guy deserves it.
To me, I want him to eat more crow.
Yeah.
I want him to eat more crow. And after he's had a whole heaping
Yes.
plate of crow, I just want him to look at the camera with the shit that he's eating and said, damn, that's some good eating.
Woo!
Hoo-wee!
Hoo-wee! That was some good eating.
good
Show
old-
enough good eating.
Show enough good eating, huh?
Show enough.
Eat that crow, buddy.
Eat it up, bro.
Here we go.
All right.
That's a show, guys. That
There you
is
go.
a show. That's how we do. Thank you guys for supporting this podcast. Tell people about it. It's a little bit of a break in your day. And we'll be back tomorrow. Coming back at it and back at you guys tomorrow. I hope you're having a good week. Stay connected. Stay protected. Don't get infected. This is not a hoax.
But we got the jokes.
Wear a mask. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.